preparing, setting up your meeting. And I think we are live.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it just jumped from 2 viewers to 10 for me, so hopefully that's a good sign. Let's see. Trying to open up the comments. Oh, 55, just jumped to 55. You guys are punctual. Oh, I see a lot of hellos. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is exciting. Good stuff. Hi, everyone.
Testing.
I can hear you. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Got a lot of comments so far. If you guys are ready for this fun Nosy Neopians episode, comment down below a nose emoji. We want to see that.
Sorry, I had some issues with my AirPods. I'm here now. Hi, guys.
Oh, they can hear us, they say. Waiting for those nose emojis, guys.
All the noses.
It's great. I really appreciate all the nice comments from you guys. This is really nice. Just gonna let people filter in here and oh, now I'm seeing the nose emojis, but a little bit of a delay, I think.
Oh, yeah, we have a little bit of a delay on our end for sure. Sorry, guys.
Awesome. Yeah, we are just letting people get here, but we're gonna start pretty soon. This is really exciting. It's gonna be a fun evening or afternoon or morning, wherever you guys are. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think, Ivy? Do you think
comments?
I know. I like the comments.
You guys are so supportive. Thank you.
What do you think, Ivy? You think we should get started?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right.
All right. Hello to the Nosy Neopians who just entered the stream. It's Ivy here.
And Willow here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Seriously, we're so excited. Earlier this month, we asked you guys to submit questions for us to ask Dominic Law, the new CEO of Neopets, on a pre-recorded AMA style interview for Nosy Neopians.
Yeah, we had an incredibly overwhelming response with the number of questions we received. So we decided, the best way to go about this interview would be to do this live broadcast. So you guys can kind of, watch us chat through your questions in real time and have some fun with us.
Yeah, I think if we didn't do it this way, the Nosy Neopians episode might have ended up being probably a few hours long.
Literally.
So we asked on social media if you guys wanted to see a live AMA, and you guys loved the idea. So here we are.
Yeah. So also don't worry. If any of your friends weren't able to make it live with us right now, we are recording this entire AMA and we're going to post it on our YouTube channel. And you can also watch the replay on Facebook at any time as well.
Yep. So this live AMA with Dom is kind of a bonus episode of Nosy Neopians this month. So make sure you subscribe to the Neopets YouTube channel so you don't miss out on our other episodes. We actually have a new episode dropping at the end of this week, so get excited for that.
Yeah, that being said, we're also super sorry for the delay in getting this out. We know it's been heavily anticipated and, we just wanted to make sure we did it right.
Yeah, so as a thank you for your patience and for tuning in with us here today, we are going to be giving out 3 Upper Deck Battle Dome TCG avatar codes. That's right, the famous arcade Shoiryu one.
I love that one. So we will be asking 3 random questions at 3 different times during this stream. So get your fingers warmed up. These winners will be randomly selected during the live stream and will be announced by Dom.
Yeah, and just a huge shout out to Upper Deck, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen how amazing those TCG cards are turning out, but I seriously can't wait for this 2024 release.
I know, same. They're gorgeous. The art, the quality, just, everything about them. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we definitely recommend heading over to Upper Deck Entertainment social media. Give them a follow. We know that they mentioned they're going to be giving some sneaky peeks as soon as they're able to.
We love a good sneaky peek.
Anyway, we do.
Yes, I know that we're all here for a much bigger reason than to hear Willow and I chatter. So let's get the show rolling. We would love to introduce you to the one, the only
Dominic Law. Everyone, please welcome the new CEO of Neopets.
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to be here. How's everyone doing? So it's been a very busy few weeks since SACC and the whole leadership announcement. I'm so glad that we got to make this happen, and I'm glad to answer more questions.
Yeah, we're so excited. I'm seeing a couple comments. People are wondering if this is actually live, and we just want to assure you guys this is live. No worries there.
Right now.
But yeah, so to get into the live spirit, we are going to do what we promised, and we're going to do our first avatar code giveaway. So if you want to participate in the avatar code giveaway, you've got to get ready to comment.
Yes. Okay. You guys ready for the first question? What is your favorite Neopet species? So start commenting that right now.
Yep, and we'll give the audience a few seconds to get their answers in. So comment your favorite Neopet species now. While we wait for those, in the meantime, what's your favorite, Don?
Well, my favorite is definitely the Shoru, so that's why the avatar that we're giving out today is also related to that.
And that's why.
That's fitting. Yes, I love your shirt. It's perfect. I love shoirus. They're so cute. I love dragons in general, so that's why my personal favorite is the drake.
Well, dragons are okay, but Aishas are definitely where it's at. We all know that.
Of course. Wow, lots of different answers. This is really cool.
Yeah, I'm seeing yerbals. I'm seeing loops, lutaris. I guess there's 55 possible answers. So we're taking a look. We're letting people comment.
Yes, it is almost Drake Day. I'm very excited.
Everyone who knows Ivy knows that drakes are her favorite.
Look, it's on my shirt. It's on my little avatar.
It is. That is true. Let's see who the winner is. Dun dun dun. Dramatic pause, dramatic music. Still looking at these comments. Okay, the first winner of the Shoiru avatar. Dom, do you want to announce it?
So my team just typing it out. So it's going to be Brittany Smith, and her answer is the loop. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Brittany. We are going to reach out to you after this live and get you hooked up with your new avatar.
Yeah, awesome. Good job. Congratulations. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Just so you guys know how this is going to work. We did take the time to pre-select about 10 of the most popular and hard-hitting questions for Dom to answer. And this is based on what you guys wanted to know the most. We're going to answer those first, and then we'll start taking a few questions from the live chat at the very end of this.
Yep. So we want to invite everyone who's tuning in right now to, ask your questions down below as you think about them. We actually have another TNT member moderating the chat and kind of polling questions as you ask them. So we'll get those all prepared for later on.
Yeah, huge shout out for the behind the scenes help that we have. But yeah, for now, let's get started. So Dom, are you ready?
Yep, definitely. Super hyped up.
Awesome. So our first question, we're going to start with something just a little bit easier to break the ice. Can you just tell us about yourself and what is your history with Neopets?
Well, I'm sure everyone's not here for the easy questions and answers, but I guess I'll still introduce myself. So I started playing Neopets when I was in middle school. So actually, I was born and raised in Canada, but I moved back to Hong Kong when I was like 10 years old. So Neopets is actually the game that I would use to connect with my old friends and my childhood friends in Canada, and that's why it's a big part of my childhood, and it's always been like really fond childhood memories for me.
I love that. I feel like Neopets really brought a lot of people together, so that's super cool. All right, we can dive into a little bit more here. So tell us, how's it been since you become CEO? Can you go into a little bit more detail about, your previous role in the Neopets metaverse, what changed for you, and what this means for the Neopets brand?
Yeah, so on one hand, it's kind of like a dream come true that I'm able to work on kind of like my childhood dream career. But on the other hand, the pressure is immense. I mean, the understanding that the dire situation that Neopets is in and trying to fix a lot of the things that we're seeing and also listening to the community. This is no small task, and there's a lot of work cut out for us. I mean, so definitely working very hard and working very closely with the team. I'm so glad that I get the support from the whole TNT team, who's been working really hard in the past few years to keep Neopets afloat. So it's an exciting time. But yeah, a little bit more detail about my previous role in the Neopets metaverse. I actually like to take a step back and kind of like talk a little bit more of what led us to kind of where we at now in terms of the IP and everything. So as you may know, the fact is that Jumpstart has been loss-making for the past 6 years since NetDragon's acquisition. And then this opportunity came along kind of like around almost 2 years ago when NetDragon was like evaluating the possibility to cut loss and wanted to dive deeper to understanding what could be revived and what's the possibility with all the IPs under the Jumpstart umbrella. And me being like a Neopets fan and a former player, and one of the reasons why I joined NetDragon is to help them do a lot of initiatives on the education technology front. And Jumpstart is actually part of that umbrella under the education tech umbrella of NetDragon. So having this, I jumped on the opportunity and spearheaded this effort, thinking to myself that this might be kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity to work in my childhood dream job, and also having a chance to kind of like build Neopets back to its glory days. But the caveat is that I need to start this with kind of like taking over the Metaverse project, kind of like close to 2 years ago in December of 2021. So that's kind of how I got into the kind of like the Neopets metaverse, taking over the project, trying to rebuild a lot of the trust and the bridges, and to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. So a lot has happened in between, and I don't want to bore you with the details. Like fast forward like 20 months later, and here we are. So to fully understand the situation and kind of like we came up with a business plan, we have to convince the top management at NetDragon, we're found investors, and most importantly, kind of like during these 12 months, we brokered a deal to spin off the whole Neopets IP. So now that we can kind of like stay true to our IP and stay true to our loyal players. And most importantly, we want to turn things around and make a lot of new changes so that this game to be loved by those who don't not yet know Neopets. So we're not just only kind of like attracting our existing players or recent lapsed users to come back. We really want to kind of like fix the site. So it's not only just for our loyal players, but also for kind of like the 150 million lapsed users that could come back for nostalgic reasons, but also to come back to say hi to their childhood friends and everything like that. So that's one big pillar of our strategy, which is also our near-term focus, is to put as much effort and all our resources to fixing the classic site. And then the second pillar of our strategy is actually to build up the licensing and merch business. I know a lot of our lapsed users might have moved on and kind of like they might not be a gamer anymore, but they still have a lot of kind of like connection with the Neopets IP, and that would be a big part for us to get these lapsed users to come back to interact with us. And the third pillar of our strategy is actually to actually bring in new experiences in a more modernized way. So that's actually what could extend IP to the next generations or generations to come, and making sure that Neopets could be like a relatively more like self-sustainable IP. So that's kind of like the three pillars that we're working on with our near-term focus on fixing the classic site. And when I'm looking back at it, kind of like the whole Neopets metaverse kind of project is it fits in the first pillar of trying to do something new and hoping to see where that could help us attract new users. I mean, although it didn't really work out as planned, but it did help us to understand the situation a lot more, revitalize the brand, and showing our investors and showing NetDragon that there's a lot of new things that could be done, and the power of the community is there, and letting us to know that the influence and kind of like what actually the most important thing to Neopets as a whole.
That's amazing. We are really excited for all the changes on the horizon. I know the community has seen them firsthand coming up, and we know that there's a lot more coming in the future. So we are really excited about that. We'll move on to our next question. You've mentioned before that you believe in promoting transparency and having more open-ended communication with the community. How do you plan on achieving this?
Yeah, so why we're committing to kind of like this transparency is actually a two-way thing. So I'm actually truly astonished by kind of like the collective love and knowledge that this community has. And promoting transparency is actually not just for us to inform or update the community, because we want to build a two-way traffic and actually a more kind of integrated community to really build Neopets back to its glory days together. And the more important thing is that these transparency actually allows the TNT, the whole team, to learn from the community. So Neopets is actually in such a dire situation. We probably need all the help we can possibly get. And it's kind of like a now or never situation. And on some of the things that we're trying to promote transparency is kind of like regular, frequent AMAs like these, where we can promote and get more direct conversations and dialogue going on. We've announced that we'll be launching the brand ambassador program. I know a lot of people have applied. I think we received more than 500 or 600 applications. So we're finalizing the details. And then that's kind of like one of our first initiatives to connect directly with the community so that their voice could be heard, and they'll be able to raise any problems, concerns, and also give us like immediate feedbacks on some new initiatives that we're looking at. So we're currently shortlisting the final candidates, and then we'll be kind of like launching this program. Should be within this month. So stay tuned to our social media for more updates. And then one of the last things we're also working on is to have, well, kind of like improve on our monthly newsletter that we're also putting out to have a better kind of like transparency and clarity in terms of kind of like our latest roadmap, what we've been working on, and what delays we've been facing, and some of the problems. But also we'll share more and be a lot more upfront about everything.
I love that, especially as a user myself. That's a great answer, because obviously we all want that communication between all of us. So that's absolutely awesome. Okay, next question. So this is kind of a big one. Both existing and returning players often say how difficult it is to recover old accounts or to even get a response from our customer service team. This has been a really big problem in the community for quite a while. So how do you plan on tackling this?
Yeah, so this is indeed a very big question. So let me spend a little bit more time on kind of like breaking it down to try to explain more. And I would love to express my gratitude towards our CS team. We have a really small CS team, and in the past there were like a huge backlog of tickets accumulated for the past 5 years, I would say. So, and then ever since our leadership announcement and kind of like all the recent changes and media coverage that we've been getting, there are more than 20K tickets that came in for the past 2 months alone. And then with the small CS team that we currently have, it's been a lot of work. And we know that the reforming of the whole CS support system and the process is probably one of the top priority, if not the most important priority for us. But I would love to share some good news is that we have already started the reform, and we are also fine-tuning the process in kind of a lot of ways to make sure that we are balancing between kind of like solving the tickets, but also recovering accounts, but also avoiding kind of like the hackers and scammers to try to get into other people's accounts. So some things that we have achieved kind of like behind the scene that the community might not know. So the number of outstanding tickets have been reduced from like over like 25 or 30K. The number of outstanding tickets now is less than 10K. The throughput has also increased significantly. So as I mentioned, there's more than 20K of tickets that came in since July. And then The average response time has been reduced from close to 5 weeks to now less than 2 weeks. I know that's still a long waiting time, but trust us, we are working towards reducing that further. And we are implementing, we have implemented a customer satisfaction rating for closed tickets. And so far, the average satisfaction rate is actually ranging from 75 to 80%. So kudos to the team. We're making a lot of new process changes and trying to make it noticeable for our community. So what have we done to deliver these results? So one of the things that we've done is that we fixed some of the broken forget email and forget username links. So that's kind of like a low hanging fruit for us. And then for most of the kind of like normal accounts or lower value accounts, we have simplified the recovery policies by changing the requirements and information people need to submit. So for example, like you don't need to access to the original email is no longer a must for a lot of these long lost accounts. But there are still a lot of challenges that we're still facing. For example, we're still trying to be having a strict policy and being very careful when it comes to the high value accounts. So we want to make sure that we're returning to its actual owner instead of like all the hackers and scammers that we're actually seeing a lot. And something that we probably don't know behind the scene is that there constantly a lot of hackers and scammers that are trying to gain access of other accounts and leading to a lot of the problems that we're seeing as well. But I'd like to promise that some of those things that we're doing. So we're actually going to have an appeal channel. So it will be a new system that will be in place by next week. So some of the tickets could be escalated to other team members or to the higher management, so that we can have a second chance to investigate further if a user is unsatisfied with a closed ticket or with their response. And then we're targeting to reduce average response time to 2 to 3 days. So that's one of our main KPIs. And we are increasing the team size to improve the throughput. So I understand there's still a lot of room for improvement, but I would like to express my gratitude again to the whole CS team that has been standing behind us to make this happen. And then there has been rumor that we have more than one Alice, but that's not true. Alice is actually just one of the TNT members, and she's been answering kind of like thousands of tickets every week. And so please bear with her. Sometimes it's just hard to go through work like this, but we are trying to improve the process, standardize a lot of kind of like the FAQs and make it easier for users to come back and also to get their tickets responded to.
That's great. Obviously, we want to get as many Neopians back into their accounts and back on Neopets as we possibly can. So we're really excited. It's a new era of Neopets, but it kind of sounds like it's a new era of customer service too. So that's really great. All right, so we're going to move on to our next question. And this question is something that I am personally very excited about. I know Ivy is, and I know the community is going to be really excited to hear your answer for this. We cannot even begin to tell you how many questions that we got about NCUCs. So are you able to provide a percentage of how far along they are, or if there's a projected release date? Basically, what can you tell us about NCUCs, Dom?
I know this is probably more than 15 years overdue, but I'm very excited to tell you guys that we'll be launching our first series by December this year. You're right. By December this year, we'll be launching our first series. And my team would probably kill me for sharing too much. But in the interest of committing to transparency, I'll just spill the beans. But no, some of these details might still change, but I'll try to kind of like share what I could. So as you may know, like UC Pets will come as a UC Paintbrush. We might change the name. Reasons being that this UC Paintbrush is actually not like your normal paintbrush. So you know why? Because it's not going to vanish. It will be treated more like a special wearable, so that it converts kind of like your pet cosmetically. And then after you use the paintbrush, the Neopet will not be customizable. And also it will be reversible. So you can put on the paintbrush, see your pet, and as a kind of like use the Neopets. And I hope you will love this. The UC paintbrush won't be color specific. It will only be species specific. So yeah, we'll bring back a series of them, but unfortunately we won't be able to bring them back all at once. Our target is to launch like 30 to 50 of them out of the more than 200 UCs by this December. So we're still in the final stages of kind of like fine tuning these designs, and based on what you hear, feel free to tell us if you have any better suggestions or other comments, but also tell us what's your favorite UC colors that you'd like to see come back first. Like if it's plushy, fairy, royal. I mean, I think we're still deciding on that. The main hurdle for us is actually getting all the artwork ready and also being in place for our users to really work their magic on it. So yeah, comment below and let us know.
I love all the comments right now. Everybody is so happy and
Everybody's freaking out.
I am too. I'm super excited. So I feel you guys. All right, moving on for the sake of time. This is a short question, but it has a big impact. Are there any plans to fix the Battle Dome?
So yeah, I wish I can share more about this, but to be honest, I don't have as much to share compared to what because our team is still very early on in the design process. We don't really have a clear development timeline on when things could be updated, but we do have a kind of like a broader deadline that we're facing internally. We know there are a lot of bugs, and fixing the Battle Dome is very important because we've announced that there will be a new plot at SBCC. So some of the plot points will be requiring the need of the Battle Dome, and at least some part of it to be fixed. So we are working on getting some of those bug fixes and a range of improvements for the Battle Dome by probably early next year. Yeah, but that's kind of all I could share. Unfortunately, I don't have more details.
That's great, though. I think people will be really, really excited about that. We know Battle Dome is such a huge part of the Neopets experience, and we're looking forward. I'm personally looking forward to a better Battle Dome experience to try to get some more Nerc mids and some more code stones on my account. I know Ivy's feeling the same way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. We will move on to our next question then. This is kind of a loaded question. There are a lot of things that users would love to see return on the site in some capacity. For example, there's Charity Corner, Neo Homes, Key Quest, Habitarium, World Challenges, all that kind of fun stuff. Are there any plans to bring back some of these old favorites to the site?
Yeah, that's a big one. Well, we hear you. If I could, I would love to bring back all of these. But the reality is it's a mixed bag. So some of these are really hard to bring back, and some of these we are already working on. So for example, for Key Quest, we actually don't have access to the original source code. We're sifting through everything that we received. I don't think it's there. We are trying to kind of get in contact with some of the OG team members that have worked on this and see if there's anything that could be retrieved. Fingers crossed, but really not sure. But do let us know if you have any tips and pointers on this one. If you know anyone that worked on the original Key Quest, let us know. Maybe we can work out something. But recreating Key Quest would not be something that we can take on at this stage, given the limited scarce resources we have. But never say never. We might be able to tackle it once we are kind of like back on track. So for example, like for Charity Corner, we are planning to do something new. And as some of the community members have guessed and kind of like received our hint, we are planning to incorporate some of the best parts of Charity Corner into an upcoming event. So please stay tuned. I think a lot of the details will be announced really shortly. For Neo Home, it will actually more become an integral part of the new World of Neopets game that we're building. So we're probably going to prioritize less in fixing Neo Home in kind of like Neopets Classic, but it will be kind of like reimagined into part of the new World of Neopets game. As for a lot of the other stuff, we understand that there's loved by a lot of our players and the lab users. We are exploring the possibility of bringing them back as well and creating bigger and better futures. But as I pointed out, we can't work on everything all at once, so we definitely need to prioritize. And that's kind of those are the things that we are working on.
That's great.
Yeah, super exciting. Super exciting.
Yeah. So we are going to take a quick little break from all these fun questions. And who's up for winning another avatar code? Is anyone interested in that?
No, they don't want that.
No, I don't think so. No, just kidding.
Okay, so the question now, we want to know what site features or events you'd like to see come back to the game. So kind of based on our last conversation here with Dom. Just to participate, comment that below, whether it's Neo Homes, Old Plots, Key Quest, Habitarium, or just anything we discussed or any ideas you have. So go ahead and comment that now.
Yep, we're gonna look for these comments. Yep, just so you guys know, I've seen a couple people talking in the comments. It's random. We're picking someone random. It's not based on who was first or who showed up first for us or anything. We're just picking someone random, picking an answer that we like. And Brittany Smith is a real person. Somebody said that it sounded like a fake name. No, that's someone we're really gonna give an avatar to, you guys, I promise.
Once again, a shout out to our TNT members behind the scenes here that are doing all this for us. They are awesome. We thank them.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of good answers too. I'm seeing Pet Park. That was a favorite of mine back in the day. Obviously everybody's talking about Key Quest,
Lenny Conundrum.
Oh, Lenny Conundrum.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, I think we have our winner picked out. Dom, do you want to announce?
Let me see. Okay, cool. So the winner is Haley Abel.
Yep. And Haley said they wanted the charity corner. So that is exciting. Congratulations to Haley. We will be reaching out to you. Yeah, we'll be reaching out to you after the live so you can get your new avatar. Woot woot.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to a couple more questions. You guys ready? We know that the community is extremely concerned about somebody known as the Food Club botter, as well as just a large handful of other cheaters and botters in general. So what are your plans to tackle these situations and, be more preventative to cheaters in the future?
Yeah, so this is a very serious issue that we know it has been happening for probably quite a long while. So there is a task force set up to conduct a thorough investigation into this. So it's not easy. And then how we tackle it, we probably can't review too much details because I'm sure the botters and the cheaters are always among us. So we are taking it very seriously, and there are things that we're doing to strengthen the security and the safety on the site to prevent cheaters. We are looking into different ways of blocking a lot of these bots. And also, I think the most important thing is we want to ensure that everyone is going to have a fair play experience. But also, I would like to remind the community that, remember that, not all rumors are true, even when you see it on Reddit, on Facebook discussion. So don't believe everything that you read or hear. We are working behind the scenes to fix a lot of these. And for the cheaters and botters out there, I can assure you that we will be coming after you.
Love to hear it.
Get them.
Okay, great. That's awesome. We're really excited about that. We're going to move on to another one of our questions. And this is another big one that I know people are looking to hear your answer on, Dom. And that question is, what are your plans for fixing the broken in-game economy on the site? And how do you propose that we tackle inflation?
Yeah, that's probably a $1 million question, and it would take more than a few economists to fix it. But we hear you all loud and clear. We know that we want to ensure that returning users or new players can have their way to enjoy the game, and also having a better way to earn Neopoints. So we are looking at improving kind of the new player experience or returning player experience to make sure that it's easier for them. And in the short term, as I mentioned, we are looking into the cheating and botting problem that has been contributing to the inflation problem. So that would be the most important kind of priority in the short term. And also, we have been doing some things we are looking at reintroducing some of the more rare items into the economy, but we want to take it very carefully because a lot of these things, just how the economy works. Once we take some small actions, there's always domino effects. So we want to take it carefully and not make kind of like the problem even worse than it is. So it's a very delicate situation, and we want to make sure we don't ruin the fun of some parts of the site, because like some of the parts might be kind of like contributing to the inflation problem, but that's also maybe some of the part of the game that the community is genuinely enjoy engaging with. So we have to make sure that we're solving the issue, but not taking away the fun of the game. And as I mentioned earlier, we are planning on bringing back certain elements of the charity corner in one of the upcoming events. So those are things that we are trying to do and hopefully can solve part of the inflation problem. But it's such a big, it's such a kind of like, it's going to require a lot more work, and it will take probably months to really do more. So, and also, I would love to hear any advice and suggestions for the community members. I know a lot of people have put in a lot of suggestions on how, like, ways that we could fix some of the inflation problems. To be honest, some of those have been brilliant when we are incorporating some of these elements. So feel free to continue to let us know. We will have a feedback form towards the end of this AMA, and then you could kind of like let us know. Like there are a lot of things that we don't know, and we are trying to learn from the community as well. So please chime in and let us know.
Yeah, that's fabulous. We care what you guys think and want to take that into consideration always. So that's a great answer. Okay, so here's another big one. Is there a reason there has never been an issued statement from TNT about the Altador Cup in 2022?
Yeah, I think it's probably a management style. I think I mean, I would like to be able to represent everyone at TNT to say that we're very sorry for the entire experience that happened in Alpha Cup in 2022. We understand that users were shadow banned. We have fixed that. The ban was lifted. And we are kind of like listening to the community to make sure that we deliver a great AC earlier this year. And it seems like it has worked well. And then our focus is to improve the Altador Cup for the years to come, and we want to make it enjoyable and fair for everyone. And going forward, we will be a lot more transparent, and I'm sure there will be more mistakes that we make, and I'm sure this is no small feat, but I'm also sure that together with the community, we can make this work, and we can build Neopets back to its glory days.
That's great. I know a lot of people are going to be happy that this was finally addressed. And you know, Dom, I know that you're really committed to transparency as our new CEO. So I'm really happy, and I think a lot of people are too, that, you know, we're taking accountability, and you know, this is something that's going to be addressed. So that's awesome.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
All right. So this last question, it's going to be our last pre-selected question before we go on to questions from the audience. And this last question is about NeoMail. So as we all know, NeoMail is very much outdated. So can we have kind of an updated instant messaging system that has an outbox so we can see sent messages, stuff like that? Can we have an update for NeoMail?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad to see how NeoMail has turned out and kind of like its current state. As I mentioned earlier, Neopets has been kind of like the main gateway for me to reconnect with my childhood friends in Canada, and NeoMail was a big part of that. And I'm sure for our community, Show has always been a big part of Neopets, and this is a key feature we plan on upgrading in the future. So kind of like we saw suggestions on, for example, linking NeoMail with an actual email notification. So when you get an NeoMail on site, you get an email notification. So to prompt you to come back to Neopets and reply. Yeah, I think we saw like a lot of great suggestions. I mean, what do you guys think about this? Like, let us know. And if you have any other feedback and suggestions, keep them coming. We want to improve the whole social kind of elements on Neopets as a whole. So we're not just fixing the NeoMail. I think kind of like modernizing some of the filters, or kind of like creating kind of like a more easier to navigate Neo board for our users, and all those things we are investigating and looking into. But as I've mentioned, there's probably over like 100 or even near 1,000 of items that we know that we need to fix, and issues and bugs that we need to fix. But the most important thing for us now is to prioritize and make sure that we're kind of like churning through and keep our updates coming. And yeah, we will be working on it.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I use NeoMail a lot, so that'll be really cool to see it be updated and something new to come to that. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, nothing worse than when you send someone a NeoMail and you're trying to buy something from them on the trading post or something, and you don't even remember what you offered them or what you were talking about with them. So that'll be great.
Yeah. Or like I totally just forget that I sent a NeoMail and then I send it again. And
yep, been there.
What? Okay, you guys. So our TNT member behind the scenes did pull a bunch of questions from you guys. So we are going to start asking those. So our very first one.
Yeah, we're gonna. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go on. What's up?
Yeah. I just saw one that I think we should address, and that is about our premium and our premium subscription service. So, Dom, are we planning on seeing any new perks for premium members? Could you talk maybe a little bit about the premium revamp that you're thinking about doing?
Yeah, sure. I think one of the things we've seen and relatively easier to fix is kind of like things related to our premium, because it's more like a design and less related to the kind of like backend code. So it's actually that's kind of some of how we look at the problems as well in terms of our framework. Because like Neopets has been built on 24 years old kind of like technology and code. So whenever we want to fix something that's related to the code base, it's always harder, and it's much hard. It's always harder than building a new game from the grounds up. But like for example, for something like premium, it's actually more on kind of like on the service level. So some things that we're thinking about is, for example, looking at whether it makes sense to have 3 tiers of subscription, like a monthly and a 4-month and a kind of like annual subscription. We're probably going to streamline that and change it into just monthly and annual. So that's kind of like more adhering to the industry standards, and also kind of what more like users would expect of like a subscription model. And then also like differentiating the tiers between kind of like normal users, premium users, and then also among premium users, the monthly and the annual premium users. We might want to offer more perks for kind of like the annual premium users in the future. So some of the ideas that we have, ideas where we haven't finalized the details yet, are, for example, like maybe early access to some of our merchandise, or kind of like a limited edition merchandise. They have early access before we open up for everyone else. Kind of like things like that. And like have like a exclusive invitation to be our beta testers for some of the new games we're building out. So we are looking at this to make our premium perks a lot more attractive, and making it fun for players to come back and also be a subscriber.
Awesome. That's really exciting. Premium, I don't think I could survive without my super shop wizard and all my favorite premium perks. So
I really rely on that premium bar for everything. I have like all my quick links there and everything. It's just super convenient. Okay, so next question. So the site is still operating half classic and half new layout. Are these pages going to continue to be converted? When can we expect a cohesive layout?
Yeah, so there's so many pages on kind of like the Neopets Classic, like the original Neopets.com. So converting them all would actually be a huge task, and then towards part of it, it'll kind of like start to see diminishing return on page conversion. But we are still working on a lot of the conversion. We actually have a lot more of the pages already designed out, but it's kind of in our backlog as we're focusing on kind of like different parts of the fixes and try to prioritize. But I would assure you that on our monthly newsletter, or kind of like every update we have, expect that some pages would be converted, and then kind of like based on its priority. And the goal is to have a more cohesive layout. And the conversion is actually also kind of tied to the overall strategy that I discussed earlier, because like we want to make Neopets a lot more mobile friendly, and we want to pave the way, kind of like the foundation for Neopets to be able to attract kind of like new users or kind of like returning users to come back and have a great experience, and also kind of like new generations of users who never heard of Neopets or never played Neopets. It might be hard to use Neopets as it is to attract kind of like younger kids or younger adults to play this game. But we are trying to make sure that we modernize like the infrastructure at the very least, but also staying true to the core of Neopets, and kind of the classic game will be always be the core of this whole IP. But the new game experience is also going to be built upon this modernized foundation, so that's kind of how we've been seeing it, and hopefully that could bring us a lot of new users as well.
Exciting.
Yes.
All right, we're looking through a lot of the questions in the chat box and what our secret TNT members have pulled, and I think we have time for one more, which is kind of a fun one, a little bit more lighthearted to end off all these questions. And that question came from somebody who was asking about new merchandise. Are we planning on releasing some new fun merchandise? Will it be available in other countries other than just the US? Like, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we are going to revamp our e-commerce store. I'm not exactly sure when we can launch that. There's a lot of work that's been poured into that. So as part of that, we are trying to make our merchandise be a lot more available to people outside of US and Canada. So we'll want to make sure that we have a better fulfillment partner and kind of like having better shipping options available for all our fans and players from around the globe. And talking about new merchandise, yes, we are working on that as kind of like the second pillar of our strategy is to rebuild our licensing and merchandise business. I mean, we're building a strong pipeline of merchandise to celebrate our upcoming 25th anniversary. And a lot of these merchandising deals and kind of like product take kind of like anywhere from like 6 to 18 months from we kind of like finalize the idea to actually having the merch to hit the shelf. So yeah, so it's gonna be exciting to see a lot of these new merchandises coming out, but we are still kind of like in a lot of pitching, in a lot of pitches trying to get like new licensees on board. So let us know what you might have, like what merchandise you might like. But yeah, I mean, but I just received some sample. It's actually kind of like a Neo hood that we have. And then
we love
this
it.
is
Oh yes,
this is kind of like merchandise that we're doing, and stay tuned. We will be doing a giveaway soon. I think more details will be announced, but we are kind of like working into getting things like these and a lot more to get our fans to be able to engage with Neopets in real life and with these merchandise.
It's fun because I just saw somebody in the comments ask for more Kachik merch, and then you put that hat on, and they're
serendipitous.
So happy. Yeah, they're so happy.
Hopefully by now you know that this is definitely a live session.
Yes.
This is very live.
It's funny, Dom. I have an eye on the Facebook, but I also have an eye on the Discord chat. So hey to everyone watching on Discord. I just saw a couple screenshots of you in that Kachik hat. So you're already making memes. So big shout out to everyone there. So that's awesome. We're really excited for this. And what do you say, Ivy? You think it's time?
Let's do it.
All right. It's time for this final giveaway.
Let's do it. So actually, you want to take it away?
Sure.
Last 2 questions.
All right. So this is our last of the 3 avatar giveaways. To participate, we are going to have you answer a question. And this question is going to be just about what we just talked about. What kind of merchandise would you like to see? So you could tell us, shirts, plushies. I've seen people talk about stickers, stationery.
You can talk about specific species or pets or characters or, just anything and everything. We would love to hear it.
Yeah. Dom, what would you like to see? Like, what would be your dream merchandise to see for Neopets?
So I really like Shoru. As I talked about, I would love to have like a Squishmallow Shoru, maybe. That would be something that I'd love to have.
That's the dream.
Seriously.
That's
I feel
cool.
like We could have so many cool squishmallows or just like pillows or something. That'd be so neat.
Definitely. And for me, I mean, obviously I'm not going back to school, but this time of year I'm in back to school mode. So I'm always thinking like stationery and stuff like that. So I think that would be another cool thing.
I agree.
Seeing some really good answers in the chat too. I see people asking for mutant plushies. That would be pretty cool. I know Ivy likes mutants and stuff more like that. I know you'd be into that.
Love mutants and Tyranian and Darrigan and all the like darker themes. I'm so
very cool.
Yeah, but one of my big dream, is to have, if we can have one day have a Neopets theme park, that would be awesome.
Oh my God.
I would be so there.
I'd be there every single day.
Be our new office, right, Dom?
Can you imagine?
Okay. Again, lots of really great answers. Thank you so much. Dom, do you want to do the honors announcing our last winner?
So the last winner is going to be Andy Dogman.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Andy.
Congratulations, Andy. We will, again, you're our last winner. We'll reach out to you so you can get your new avatar.
Oh, sorry. I like lagged there. No Congratulations, honestly, to all three of the winners, not just you, Andy, but all three of you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. This is going to be a wrap on our very first ever live episode of Nosy Neopians.
And thanks for being here. This means a lot to me. Kind of like, since taking on this role, it's always been great to connect with our Neopets players and the community. So keep the questions coming. I know we've only answered a handful of them today, but keep them coming. We'll answer them in future AMAs. I promise that will be kind of like a frequent, regular AMAs. There will be more opportunities like this. So it's fun to talk to everyone, and and just give us more feedback.
Definitely. And speaking of feedback, we actually have a Google form link for anyone to fill out feedback, anything you guys want us to know, any future questions. We're going to put that in the Facebook live chat. We're going to pin it up there so you guys can keep this conversation going.
Yeah. So have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whatever time zone you're in. I know we're all, all over the world.
And yeah, we will be posting this live. It should be posted up to Facebook as a replay. It'll be on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check it out, check out the replay. And yeah, this was so fun. So thanks everyone. We're gonna sign off. All right.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.